Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Blank Check here, and today we are back to My Little Pony Season 9. This time, episode 20, A Horse Shoe-In. This is the big 2-0, and I am starting to really feel the end times coming. They're airing the last 3 episodes at the same time, so we're only 4 weeks away from the official end here. But you know, let's think about those difficult things later. For now, let's get to this episode. I got nothing on this one. It is a closed book. It's a play on words title. It tells me there's a horse in it. A shoe-in is a sure bet, something likely to succeed. The title, A Horse Shoe-In, either implies that, or that this one was directed by Quentin Tarantino. And the writer, Ariel Shepard Oppenheim, is a first-timer for the show. She only has a few small credits to her name, and I'm not familiar with any of them. One is a children's TV series called Llama Llama. This episode could be anything for all I know, and I have not heard the fan response either. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's see if this script was a shoe-in. All right.
I think you really spruce up the office, Miss Philodendron.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna call you Phyllis. Don't you look good, Phyllis?
I'm in love with this episode already.
Come in.
Were you just talking to someone?
No.
Starlight, I have something
Come
very
on,
important
she
to
has
discuss.
feelings.
If this is about leaving early yesterday, I didn't have any students on my schedule.
Oh, Starlight's in
and
trouble.
Magical emergency, which actually turned out to be nothing.
Of course.
Anything like that.
You're the new principal.
Starlight Sparkle, the Princess of Friendship, in light of her impending ascension to the throne of Equestria,
She is.
and in anticipation of her many duties and
She's gonna be in
responsibilities
charge.
forthwith, does hereby intend to make good on her previous offer to you, Starlight Glimmer, of replacing her as head mayor
Boom.
of the School of Friendship.
And we get to fly kites
Take over
together.
School when I moved to Canterlot.
I know. It's just so amazing.
So sudden.
Do you think I'm really up for it? Of course you do. I've covered for you every time you've had to run off and save Equestria, but I mean...
Yeah. Oh.
Of course. Thank you!
My goodness, I love all the animation that just happened there with Starlight. Oh, all the purple.
Think of any pony who'd be better for the job.
Oh, if that's not my thumbnail.
And excited. I'm mostly just nervous.
I understand. Of course, I'll have a lot of important responsibilities as ruler of Equestria, but I'll always be available to help whenever you need.
A lot of ponies get nervous-sided around here, I've discovered.
You're supposed to be at a royal etiquette lesson with Celestia and Luna right now?
Right. Can't underestimate the important responsibility of royal napkin placement.
Come on, Twilight, you got school to do. How do you expect to
I mean, no biggie, right, Phyllis?
train this head mare?
Totally got this.
No, Phyllis! Oh, she's gonna wilt and die. It's so sad. Oh my goodness, wow. I wonder, is this like Starlight's big finale episode? Because I don't know what impact she has on the finale itself with the main 6. Not sure how she fits into that. So this could be like the one where she steps up. And it's kind of our last new magical unicorn focused narrative. With Trixie, of course.
But proud that you've been officially offered the position of head mayor.
The best couple together once and for all.
I can't help wondering if it's going to cut into our social schedule.
Trixie, we've been over this last episode with you guys.
Instead of heading to the delightful lunch I had planned, we're striding with determination toward what we assume is Twilight's office.
Trixie's got heart.
Obviously, our lunch is super important, but so is taking over the school. And the only pony who's really running the School of Friendship is the Princess of Friendship. And I'm worried about doing it all alone, so I want to get as much advice from Twilight as I can while she's still here.
You know, a few years ago, Starlight taking over a school
Anything alone. She always has her friends.
would have been seen as a bad
Just gave me
thing.
an idea.
It would have struck fear
You can give good advice when you don't mean to.
into the Colts and Phillies everywhere.
Are we still doing lunch?
Oh. Alright, I don't think Trixie has too much.
Getting royal place settings just right is a lot harder than it looks.
Impact on this episode.
I know how busy you are, but I wanted to talk to you about running school because, honestly, I was a bit worried about taking it over all on my own.
I'd like to borrow your friends.
Realized you never did it alone.
Indefinitely.
Friend help out is pretty great.
Is she gonna get to, like, invite Maud and
So,
Sunburst and them?
think about me hiring a vice head mayor to help run things.
I'm
Oh,
sure
just
you can run
one?
the school any way you want. And if that means hiring a vice head mayor, I think it's a great idea.
It's not Trixie.
Like you said, I've always had ponies around to help. And don't worry, you can always call on me to...
Twilight, Rarity says you were supposed to be at the boutique 5 minutes ago for your second
Don't
fitting
let
for the
that blue
coronation
showboat anywhere near the
How many cities are there
children.
gonna be?
She deserves no authority,
Good luck finding your vice head mayor. I know you'll pick the right pony for the job.
and you're a wreck and looking for disaster.
I heard the whole thing, and all I can say is, I am humbled.
Okay,
Why?
Starlight's gotta give Trixie the bad news here.
Considered it, but hearing you say it out loud made me realize what a great and powerful vice head mayor I'll be. Plus, we get to work and socialize at the same time.
I was thinking of Mare.
But I can't just give you the job.
You know, she's my bestie after all.
Of course not. I imagine there's a lengthy process to go through before you inevitably hire the best pony for the position.
You know, Mrs. Cake knows how to work with kids.
I'll probably interview several ponies.
Of course, several.
Several.
Why do you keep saying wink?
I'm not
Cough,
saying
nepotism, cough.
I'm glad you all decided to be part of the
Oh,
search for
Headmare's
the
a
School of Friendships of Vice
Gender
Headmare.
agnostic
Honestly,
role, it
if you're looking
seems.
for some pony to fundraise, I can bring in enough bits to have several buildings named after me.
Well, that's not the primary responsibility of the vice head mayor, but any pony is welcome to apply. I think
think-
the selection process I've come up with is pretty...
This is a really interesting selection of ponies,
unnecessary.
and I don't know if 3 of them are gonna talk at all.
Since you all have to prove you have what it takes to be vice head mayor, I've designed the interview in 3 stages.
Did Big Mac actually come here
Different skill the vice
for a
head mayor
reason?
needs. Only those who do well will move through the stages until finally the best candidate rises to the top.
Yeah, it's like Fear
Further
Factor.
ado, it's time for stage 1, substituting for the teachers.
Doesn't Mac have an entire orchard to run?
Once the students get a sample of my great and powerful instruction, they might not want to go back to the regular faculty.
Also, we technically just heard Octavia and Dr. Hoobs mumble. I'm counting it. We finally got their voices back.
Straight! You really learned how to sew from mending apple sacks on the farm?
Like, Big Mac is maybe the most
Obviously,
correct
loyalty is the
person
foundation of
in this group,
trust.
but what happens to the
More
farm?
loyalty than a big stack of bits. This book on business will teach you all how to earn your own. Chapter 1, Equity.
If I'm elected vice head mayor, the water fountains will become soda fountains. I'll buy your love. Octavia communicates exclusively through song. Oh, that's so nice, though. Man, why can't you just let them talk? Just give them back their voices. They've talked before. We already passed that threshold. It's not like you lost their voice actors.
In the pre-Equestria era, year 1322, Abraxius the Bull did... Ooh, a bunch of boring stuff. For a really long time.
Trixie's a perfect substitute
I
teacher.
know history's important, but I never learned any of it, and look how I turned out.
Not a vice principal, but definitely a sub. Gallus knows a thing or two about that. There we go! You know, studies have shown nap times help facilitate learning.
Obviously, those 3 are moving on, but what about the rest? I think we're in agreement on this one.
Oof, no, one of our only
I know what you're gonna say.
applicants who can speak in
Have
sentences.
my vice head mayor be a friend. She just needs a little more hoof holding than some of the others, but it could still work out, right?
This is an interesting moral.
Starlight, I've given this a lot of thought, and even though I still believe naps are a valid use of class time, you're the one running the school. So if you say no naps, then no naps. And
But how
I know
about
I can be a little
snoozes?
Stubborn and not the best listener, but I just can't wait for us to tackle this job as a team.
Sleepy
Two
sleeps.
great and powerful friends taking on the world.
Midday
And I
slumber
know you
parties.
still have to go through all this interview stuff. Wink. But I just have to tell you how excited I am.
Like, this is a chronic problem in, like,
I told you it could work.
industry and government. This is what a far-reaching lesson Starlight needs to learn here.
All right, remaining Vice Head Mayor candidates, welcome to Stage 2. All of you are here because you performed well, or well enough.
And you all look
to
pretty
face the
good.
next challenge,
You're all very photogenic.
parent-teacher conferences. The Vice Head Mayor will need to be a master communicator, and I can't think of a better test of that than meeting with our students and their parents or guardians.
But you don't look as good as me.
Eagerly look forward to sharing my love of science with both progeny and progenitors.
Wow.
Indeed. An orchestra is made up of different parts, and good communication is the key to harmony.
All right.
Yup.
There we go. The best communicator. Well, they did it. They gave us the voices, but
to holding your audience's attention, which is why Trixie is also known as a great and powerful communicator.
we're gonna need to go back and compare those voices with episode 100.
Like a song, and although she started out singing her part pianissimo, Ocellus is now soloing fortissimo.
This one does seem pretty close.
Right?
Indeed.
The science curriculum at the school is somewhat lacking, but Yona has taken to the subject like a yak to smashing. If
I think Dr. Who's is a bit more,
we blaze a trail and expand our understanding of science itself.
a little more grovelly in the voice than it used to be. Then again, I might be just accidentally conflating them with the fan VAs.
Me a thing or two about napping.
Is that why you're putting me to sleep?
Excuse me?
I don't know why I have to come to these things.
Well, most parents or guardians want to be involved in our students' lives. Maybe we should find
Man,
a different representative
poor
from
Gallus.
Stone to be Gallus's guardian.
Get stuck with this one the entire time.
Let me know!
I'm so confused.
Also, this one was kind of
You're
rigged.
saying Silver Stream is exuberant? Yup. And enthusiastic? Yup. But aren't those the same? And are they good? I mean, you could be trying to tell me she's unfocused, but then you might just be explaining that you appreciate her high energy.
This is a difficult test because
Yup.
some of these parents are a lot harder to work with than other ones.
Here, and I just want to make sure I understand exactly what you're saying. So what are you saying?
There's no control.
Gallus doesn't need to know
Oh, poor Mac.
him, and he certainly doesn't need me trekking all the way to Ponyville.
Good, because you're no longer welcome.
Oh, well, fine.
I don't like the smell of you anyway.
Trixie, what happened? I'm not sure, but we'll have one less conference to worry about next semester.
Hey, glass half full. That's how we work with
Really
it.
appreciate your honesty, Big Mac, and you're right. Parents expect a lot of detailed communication when it comes to their kids. And if you aren't comfortable with that, Vice Head Mayor probably isn't the job for you.
I mean, just give them
Nope.
a wig and a dress and they'll talk their ears off.
Starlight,
Now this one's
I know
rough.
why you wanted to see me,
Last
and
time, you
don't
know,
have to
you could
worry.
kind of fudge it.
Good.
It's thoughtful that you'd want to check in on me after my shocking confrontation with Grandpa Gruff, but never fear, I shall recover.
But removing Mac
Not
and
exactly
putting Trixie
what I
up.
wanted to talk to you about. You can't get into a shouting match with parents or guardians.
It's a critical
For
failure.
the final stage of the interview process, you'll each have to put together a field trip. And if you really do want the job, I need yours to be exceptional. Because if I had to pick a Vice Head Mayor right now, it wouldn't be you.
Because, I mean, it is kind of justified because Mac quit himself, so it's not Starlight
Else, but you want to see my best. Well,
replacing him
message received.
herself.
Wink.
So she's not being terrible yet.
Powerful Trixie is about to pull out all the stops. I hope you're ready for the most exceptional field trip to ever grace this school.
Trixie's gonna kill every student.
Is it wrong for me to think she might actually pull it off?
Smash cut to the
Oh, don't answer that.
Always Sunny, title screen, Trixie sets the school on fire.
Not looking forward to the performance?
You know, Octavia loves music, but a field trip to a classical music performance isn't my idea of an exciting time.
Is Dr. Who's gonna be our vice headmayor? Oh my goodness, I love it! Oh, I'm so happy. Yeah! I don't know, they might be mixing some weird musical magic to influence all these school children.
When I heard
These guys are some
field
sirens.
trips, I knew right away I wanted to take you all to my lab. I can think of no better trip than one through the quantum field.
My laboratory! Oh, please let Derpy be here.
To time travel. I've been working on a temporal transportation device.
Get ready to meet the dinosaurs!
Chair.
Up close and personal. She comes back as a full-grown dragon.
5. Congratulations! You are now 5 seconds into the future. You see, we are all already time travelers. Who's next?
Now what?
Oh, I hadn't actually thought that much beyond this.
This is some strange science here. Oh wow, Octavia! Looking like a vice headmayor material.
To the greatest and most powerful field trip of your life!
Yeah, Dr. Who's would just be
You and friends going?
tied up, not being able to be in his lab all the time.
We're not doing a normal, old, boring field trip where you go somewhere.
He's got important adventures to attend to.
Au contraire, I could have easily taken you to Froggy Bottom Bog, but we don't need to leave the comfort of the classroom for our field trip.
With
I can bring the field trip to us.
imagination. Wow, her magic's been improving. Congrats. Trixie, Yona's deathly allergic to bees.
Trixie, what did you do? Well, I found the perfect little patch of bog to teleport into the school.
Look at it, so scenic.
I just didn't consider the possibility that a hive of flash bees might have nested there.
Look how photogenic these trees are, though. They look amazing. This is a bad time. Yona, run. They can't get through your thick hide, but
To nest in my patch of field trip bog.
they can climb in your ears. Oh, what an orderly evacuation.
Handle this. I was only trying to give them an exceptional field trip experience, which you have to admit I did. We'll talk about it later.
This one was the exception, that's for sure. The others didn't damage the students unless their eardrums were hurt by the massive wubs from vinyl.
Starlight? Hey there. So, they're gone?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Am I right?
Are you kidding?
Oh, no.
I don't know what team you're on, but it isn't mine. This was a disaster. It was dangerous.
I think the words you're looking for are great and powerful.
Exceptional.
Acceptable! You went from not taking it seriously to blowing things so out of proportion you put every creature in danger. And I
Well,
was
Starlight-
a friend so much, I ignored the fact that you would never be right for the job.
She shouldn't have made it this far.
What are you saying?
I'm saying you'll never be vice head mayor.
Boy.
I thought you created the position for me.
Why would you think that?
Oh.
I created the position because I need help, but I can't think of any way that you would ever help me.
Oh,
Twilight's friends
man.
helped her.
That's
Because
rough.
Twilight's friends are competent. They care about what they're doing, and they know how to do it.
God!
Well, I guess I won't take up any more of your time, Headmare Starlight.
Jeez, this one. Holy crap, not holding back the punches.
Check in to see how the search for a vice headmare was going.
Ouch. Everything hurts.
A lot better now.
Okay.
I really wanted it to be a friend, so I ended up pushing aside some pretty big signs that it wasn't gonna work out.
Yeah,
Pony is right for every job.
it's an easy trap to fall in.
Something to contribute. The trick is figuring out what.
what if you and your friend can't figure it
The
out?
nap time class.
Job to do. You have to decide what's best and be upfront and honest, even if that means you can't work with a friend on it.
Teach them how to sleep.
So I guess that means talking to them at the beginning instead of stringing them along until you get so frustrated you totally lose it and say a bunch of really awful things.
Pretty much.
Sure, yeah. I like how we very clearly and deliberately
Trixie?
announce
you're
the
in there.
moral
Well, you're wrong.
in the conversation there. It was handled pretty well, all things
Sorry
considered.
for all those things I said. I just really wanted it to work out, even though I knew it probably wouldn't.
Look,
I
keep
should have said something sooner.
your family life at home, Starlight.
What we want, because I'm terrible at everything and could never help you with anything.
You aren't terrible.
Hard to work with your
Great qualities.
your future wife.
Maybe not Vice Headmare qualities, but great and powerful friend qualities.
Yay.
Well,
Oh.
you really stand by the ponies you care about. Gallus even said no creatures ever stuck up for him the way you did with Grandpa Gruff.
Yeah, Trixie can be the new guidance counselor.
Together, but not every pony is right for every job.
Imagine that.
I know how you take your responsibilities seriously, and maybe I should have known I wasn't exactly a perfect fit.
Trixie can be HR for the school.
Better? No pony was.
What do you mean?
Well, Dr. Hooves has decided to go back to his experiments.
Yeah, he's got
and Octavia
big
is worried
things.
The responsibilities of Vice Headmare will take too much time away from her music.
That makes sense.
Maybe getting a Vice Headmare was a bad
Perfectly clear.
Starlight, obviously you'd like some help, and hiring a vice head mare is a great idea.
But who could it be?
I'm sure there's plenty of
Well,
competent
you
people
need
out there.
a pony who's responsible like you, and detail-oriented like Twilight, and
Just create your own. It's Sunburst.
It would be nice if I got along with them, since having it be a friend can't work out.
You can just create an automaton. Use your magic to make a homunculus.
And I knew as
There he
soon as I
be.
read Trixie's scroll that it was the exact right thing for me to do.
All right.
What about being Flurry Heart's Crystaller?
She's growing up fast.
Now that Flurry Heart's a little older, there really isn't much for me to do outside of the occasional tradition or festival. And working at a school is what I always thought I'd
Will we
do.
see Flurry Heart as like not a baby by the end?
Kidding? You're hired!
How long's it been since we've seen her?
Oh, Trixie, thank you so much.
The premiere, I guess.
between being insightful when I want to be and giving good advice when I don't mean to, I suppose I can be a pretty good friend.
Yeah.
More than that, actually. You really did give good advice.
Guidance.
Help me talk through the problem of finding the right pony for the job.
Oh, this
You
is
care about the students.
this is such a terrible idea.
Advice giver, problem talk through her, and student care about her. I think I'll go with friend.
Friend is perfect.
I don't.
But there's a position here at the school you might be right for, too.
It's good, but it's terrible.
To being the School of Friendship's new student counselor.
Those kids are
I'd say this office needs a bit
not
of
gonna survive
Potted plants scream desperation.
to adulthood. Phyllis! Trixie, you're fired. As counselor and as my friend, you'll never work in this town again. You'll never work in Equestria again. You blue monster. May God have mercy on your soul. Because Celestia ain't gonna do it. I'm getting her to blacklist you from every marketplace, every school, every hotel. You'll never be safe in public again. We're going John Wick 3 on you. Oh, wow. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that was Season 9, Episode 20, A Horseshoein'. And that one was great! I really dug this one, and it maintains the streak of awesome Starlight Trixie material. But I still might call it one of the better one of those, as well as one of the better recent episodes. It was funny, it flowed well, the emotional hit was effective, it was in character, and it progressed character storylines forward in a meaningful way. Starlight, Sunburst, and Trixie are all poised to move up in the world. Trixie's getting a real job finally. Equestria's future generation is completely screwed, but at least they'll have fun with it. Once again, a brand new writer has knocked it out of the park. That's really impressive. Bravo, Ariel. And it goes to show the benefits of bringing in new people with fresh ideas and potentially different perspectives on the characters or story. Like, they actually made an episode about nepotism. That's amazing by itself. But this one was handled super well, both in terms of our core characters as well as the background characters that we've infused into it. I was pleasantly surprised to get scenes with Dr. Hoobs and Octavia and Vinyl this late in the game. And they seem like such fun characters. I definitely would have loved to see more of these background ponies in the series in different points in time. But what we got here was enough to curb the appetite here before things come to a close. Though we could see more. I don't know what happens in the next 6 episodes, boy. I did see titles though, so I know we're not done with Big Mac just yet, so I'll hold off on talking too much about him because I know this is not his swan song. But it very well could be the end of the road, our last major look into Starlight and Trixie, and obviously Sunburst. And that's crazy to think of, but I think this would be a really good send-off if so. Because, and I'm repeating myself now, by the end of this one, they've all moved forward with their lives, and all 3 of them get to work together. That's really nice. That's just a nice thing to think about, that they have that to help them through their future careers. Like, I have the privilege of being able to work with people close to me, so I can empathize, and it's a huge deal. We got some fun bits with the students and their parents. Probably the last time we'll see those guys. This one was a big deal, and I'm really glad about the level of quality that this storyline received. I'm all over the place here, but I think you can tell that I was smiling through most of this episode, and the conflict was both relatable and hard-hitting. This was an instance where you could really feel the anger. Awesome stuff. If the rest of the season is as good or better than this one, it's gonna be a nice month. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me here. Until next time, remember, everybody has something to contribute.